Scruffy, how you doing? Like your spot, huh? Okay, well, I'll come out. It's like comfortable. Don't move. So I have, let's see, super supper, meaty pate, kibble, and rotisserie chicken scraps. Yeah, good stuff. So I think, yeah, there's some nice chunks of meat in this one, and some nice fatty pieces of skin. So the weather is about the same. It actually feels a little cold right now, but I don't think it is that cold. I think I'm just a little sweaty. So I went for an interval run today, and yeah, the sun came out, so I think it was actually a little warmer than the past few days. Not by a lot, but a little bit warmer. And because my interval run's shorter, I'm not out there as long, so usually the sun goes down by the time I finish my run, but since this is a shorter run, I had sun left when I finished, so it didn't get as cold. Let's see, I think on the way there, I saw, I think it was the Friendly Cat's pal. As I mentioned the other day, the pal and the youngling, I'm having a hard time telling them apart now because the youngling has grown so much that they look very similar now. So the youngling has very similar markings to the pal, so I have a hard time telling them apart. So I'm guessing the pal and the youngling are related. But yeah, I'm gonna guess it was the pal. So he was hanging out in somebody's yard, just lying there. He watched me walk by, didn't seem alarmed or interested in me, one way or the other. And then let's see. I didn't see the porch cat again, so I still don't know what the fate of the porch cat is. And then camera's having trouble focusing. There it goes. And let's see, I don't think I saw any other cats. Yeah, the trails were still a little muddy, but they're starting to dry out. So I'm thinking maybe the next time I go out for a bike ride, it might be just dry enough that I can try some of the trails again, but I'm not sure yet. I'm actually thinking I'm going to take maybe tomorrow off. Is a rest day or something. I was actually thinking maybe I was going to do a rest day today, but when I fed Scruffy this afternoon, I could feel the warmth of the sun, even though the ambient temperature is kind of low. So the sun felt nice and warm, so I felt like I should probably take advantage of it while it lasts. I don't know what it's going to be like tomorrow. I think it's supposed to be a little bit cooler tomorrow. So I think the next few days are going to be on the colder side, and then it's going to kind of bounce, and it's going to be a little more moderate. So we're still above freezing, but yeah, the temperatures recently have been kind of teasing that are starting to get kind of in a stone's throw of that range. But yeah, we're still above it. And then I think it's going to jump maybe another 10 degrees after that. So we're not going to be anywhere close to it. So I did start researching how to build a cat shelter out of everyday materials. It doesn't get that cold here, so I'm not worried about Scruffy. This is, I think we're going into our third winter together, so I'm not particularly worried about Scruffy. Scruffy seems to know where to go to get shelter, but I was kicking around the idea if I had the materials, maybe I would try one more time to give him a shelter. So I tried the carrier as a shelter, so I tried putting blankets in there and a thermal blanket, and I tried covering it with towels, and I've tried different things to make the carrier a nice attractive place to hang out, but Scruffy hates it, avoids it like the plague. Very, very suspicious of it, so if I put food in there, he'll suspiciously kind of dart in and out. He'll stick his head in, grab the food, and dart out. And then let's see what else. I tried the. Oh, actually, yeah, I brought out a heat dish once. Actually, I was trying to heat up the carrier too with the heat dish, and yeah, Scruffy didn't even like the heat dish. He stayed out of the beam, sat next, sat to the side of the heat dish instead of in front of it. So I remember it was a cold night. That's why I brought it out, and Scruffy didn't seem to care. In fact, he was pretty content just sitting in the cold there. I guess, yeah, his fur coat's pretty thick, so it doesn't get cold enough, I guess, maybe for him to be affected. But, still thought it'd be nice if he had something, so I was trying to figure out if there's something I can build with materials I have on hand. Unfortunately, it looks like the key ingredient, or the key material you really want for a cat shelter is styrofoam. I didn't think about that. So a couple years ago, I think one ingredient I was trying to figure out was straw. Actually, I think I'm going to get Scruffy this food now. So ready for your food? I'm going to trim a little there. Okay, let's get your food. Okay, so here's your food. And okay, so yeah, I didn't see Scruffy this morning. This afternoon, I saw him sleeping on the table behind the sun oven, so I only saw like his foot. So didn't bother recording it. But at lunch, yeah, I was gonna bring out his food, and I saw he was under the table, and I thought he was just kind of waiting for me there. But when I opened the blinds, I saw he was actually sound asleep. So yeah, he didn't make a move, didn't notice I opened the blinds. I could tell his eyes were closed. And he just, yeah, wasn't moving. So I didn't feel like waking him up. So I ended up doing some other things in the kitchen. We need to put the dishes away. And I'm actually making a soup slash stew today. Got sick of my vegetable soup. Wanted something different tonight. So I'm using the pressure cooker. But I needed to chop up a bunch of vegetables and stuff. So as I was doing all that, kind of kept an eye out and Scruffy here, and then finally I noticed, yeah, it looked like he woke up, so I came out and brought out his food. And he wasn't very active since he probably just woke up, but yeah, we did our thing. Hey, Scruffy. Finally awake, huh? I was waiting for you to wake up. You seem sound asleep. Okay, well, I'll bring out your water and kibble. Oh, right at the plate. So let's see. I was talking about straw. So yeah, a couple of winters ago, 2 years ago, I read about straw um, as one of the things that a cat might want in a shelter, and I was thinking maybe that's what I needed to put in the carrier to get Scruffy to use it. I guess the reason, so it's, yeah, I guess straw is good because it stays dry, and I guess it's kind of insulation, so it kind of retains heat. And then I guess the animals like the bird kind of bury themselves in it when they're sleeping. So if you can pile up enough straw, the cats will kind of dig in and sleep. And I tried looking for straw a couple years ago, and I could not find any, um, particularly quantities that I needed. So one of the problems with straw was, yeah, um, so not hay, but straw. So I didn't need livestock quantities. Um, so that takes a bunch of sun sources off, I think. Not that I knew where to get those anyway. Um, Home Depot was advertising they had some. Didn't I couldn't figure out what the quantity was, but I went to Home Depot and they didn't have any. So I said, "What's on your website?" And they said, "No, we don't have any." So I don't know if that meant they're sold out or what, but yeah, the workers there were very insistent they didn't have any, and then they, I think, showed me approximately where they'd probably keep it if they did have it. Yeah, there wasn't anything in that section, so yeah, no straw. And then I found Michael's uh, advertised straw, but when I went there, it's like really tiny quantities. So they're I guess designed for really small crafts types projects that like would be small enough that like a little figurine on your desk or something like that. Very yeah, very small quantities, not enough for an animal. So I gave yeah, and I searched around online for other stores that might carry straw. I couldn't find anything. So and then shipping it was really expensive, so it wasn't worth it. The follow through on that thought, as I was looking for cat food, more cat food for Scruffy on Chewy, I did search for straw, and I actually they do sell a not too expensive bag of straw. I'm still not quite sure how much it is. I'm not good with relating the measurements I see on the web page to what that actually comes out to in real life. Um, but yeah, I'm thinking maybe I'll order a bag of straw with the next cat food order, but yeah, it's not going to get here for a while. By the time I actually get around to ordering it, I think I still have like another 2 months of cat food, so I'm not like in immediate need of ordering. But anyway, researching my current research on building a cat shelter. Um, Straws are nice to have, and it's probably something I probably still want. But styrofoam apparently is the real key. So what you want is some sort of box. It could be cardboard, or it could be a plastic container. Um, but the idea is you want to insulate it with styrofoam so it stays warm, because the plastic and the cardboard they're not going to retain their heat. And then I was also reading that sometimes well, actually I think in all cases the cats really like the styrofoam floor. The problem with that though is they like scratching it and tearing it up. I guess it feels good. Um, I don't know if I want to do that just because it means I have to replace the styrofoam periodically. And unfortunately, I was hoping I had some old packaging material styrofoam lying around, and I have a tiny bit of it, but not enough to insulate a box. So if I actually and the shape is not quite right either, and there are kind of holes in it, and so you can like because it's fit the form fit it to hold things in place, and so you get your fingers in there, and so it's not really insulation. So unfortunately, I don't have enough styrofoam on hand to actually do this. If I wanted to do this, I'd have to probably go to Home Depot or Lowe's or something and buy styrofoam. And I'm worried that, yeah, I did a quick glance and the quantities that I have to buy, I don't know, might be too much. So it's in the back of my mind, but I don't know if I'm going to do it. But if I did do it, then basically, yeah, I need to get like a. So I have some cardboard boxes. I think I have a big enough one. So then I basically line it with styrofoam. Somebody recommended you line the styrofoam floor with like something that the cat can't tear up. So like wallpaper or something like that, or a laminate type of thing. I don't know if I have anything like that. The other idea was put a thermal blanket on the bottom, and I already have the thermal blanket, so I know Scruffy seems to hate the thermal blanket. I'm not sure if it's because he's scared of it or not, but I've seen him sleeping on it once, so I don't think he's scared of it anymore anyway. So if I put it inside the box and I cover it with straw, I might actually use it. I don't know. And then I need to cut an opening for Scruffy to get in the box, and then there are questions about, do I need to cut multiple openings, because cats like escape routes, and Scruffy's really, really skittish, so maybe I need to have multiple openings, but the problem with the opening is it loses heat, so you don't want to go crazy with the openings, so like one little opening seems to be better for heat. Another version I saw was using the flaps of the cardboard box. You close one and keep the other one open, and that whole open flap is basically where the animal gets in and out. But that means, yeah, it doesn't really seal, so you're kind of relying on the straw and the fact that it's kind of more of a windbreaking type of box that the cat might want to use for shelter. And there's still some styrofoam in it, so maybe it is slightly a little warmer. But yeah, that's kind of on the other extreme. So here it doesn't get that cold in the grand scheme of things, and it doesn't get that windy. So that might be adequate for him, but I don't know if I were to do it. I think I'd be more, right now I'm more inclined to try to cut a small hole, but only one. I saw a design where they actually did a hole with a flap, so they didn't cut the hole on all four sides. They left one side, and then they let the last side remain, and so it kind of swung. And then they got fancy, and they actually, I think they bought thermal blanket or some sort of material that's kind of like a blanket, reflective thermal material, and they covered the whole container. I think it was a plastic container. They covered the whole thing in that, and they even covered the flapping door, so even the door flap, it would basically swing closed, and it would basically be completely insulated when it swung back to closed position. But I think that's much fancier than I can do, and yeah, I don't want to buy that much stuff. They bought a whole bunch of materials. And then I saw another version where they used an old flower pot. So they cut the hole in the box, and then they put a flower pot in it to basically make it like a structured entrance, and I think they were claiming it was like a windbreaker. Fortunately, I don't think I have any unused flower pots. It's in the way. So anyway, yeah, since I don't have any styrofoam or straw, I'm pretty far away from doing this, but it's been on my mind since it's been a little bit on the cold side recently. Not terrible, so we haven't hit freezing temperatures. But yeah, I know Scruffy endures. He seems to know he has a lot of places to go, I guess. He's been doing this for years. As well as all the other cats in the neighborhood. Okay, folks. Thanks for watching. See you next time.